So I recently decided to revisit Josh Barber's YouTube channel, and if you are not familiar with who Josh Barber is, he runs a channel on YouTube here called Dad Challenge Podcast. He is currently sitting at 93,000 subscribers. Josh has built his platform on talking about family channels, family vlogs, and exposing their supposed exploitation of their children. Josh is somebody that I have talked about on my channel before, and if you are interested in that video, then please go and watch that video. I watched his apology video to Brianna K, Bits of Brie, and I just have some feelings. I have some thoughts and feelings, especially given everything that is going on with this man lately, and we're gonna talk about it. So sit down and let's get to it.
Can I get your name and where you're from, if you don't mind?
I'm Kai.
Kai, can I get spelling for you?
Straight out of Dogtown, K-A-I.
Hola Chula! Thank you so much for clicking on to this video, and if you are new here, well then hi, hello, my name is Kai. This is a chisme drama video. I have not done a drama video in quite some time. Now whatever, fucking I don't care, we're gonna talk about Josh and just get caught up on all of the juicy tea that I have missed. I stopped watching Josh's channel quite a few months ago, and gee willikers, Josh has not changed at all, and if he has, it is definitely for the worse. Caught my eye that he was saying that he needed to apologize to Brianna K, Bits of Brie, somebody that he's talked about quite a bit on his channel. He's, called her names, he's made fun of her appearance, he's made fun of her content, he's made fun of her marriage and called out her husband. I was curious about this. I was wondering, what it would be that he would have to apologize to her for. I mean, well, other than everything he's ever said about her. But I was just curious, because I haven't been following up, I haven't been keeping up with the Dad Challenge universe, but apparently a lot more people are starting to see through the facade that is Josh Barber. I think that this all started from a sincere place, possibly, or at least I like to believe that it did. But over time, Josh has definitely moved so far away from what the original intention of his channel was. I was really charmed by Josh because he really just seemed like a normal, ordinary guy who was really passionate about a cause that a lot of people were not aware of, and he was bringing it to the forefront. He was using his voice, using his platform. It was just, really exciting to watch him. I was really thinking that he was going to take down some of these bigger channels, but the fact of the matter is that Josh never talks about the super problematic family channels, like the ones that everyone else does, right? Like the Ace family, or the Prince family, or the LeBrants. I'm sorry, but the name LeBrant, if I was dating a man and he told me that his last name was LeBrant, the first question that I would have for him is, does your family run a 5K on Christmas morning? Because that's what it sounds like, and I'm not interested. It's honestly very peculiar that Josh chooses to not really talk about these people. I think he has every now and again, in passing, but obviously, these are the channels that are the most known for exploiting their children, and he doesn't really seem to acknowledge them so much. He'd rather talk about these mommy vloggers who clean their homes for content in tight yoga pants and have the bleach blonde hair and the, super nice bodies. And it's just so transparent. It's just so obvious what Josh is really doing anymore. He initially started to grow his channel by snarking or just having a read. He was taking digs at these women, and it was fine because at the time it was pretty inoffensive. It was nothing too serious, and he was trying to show analytics of the channels of these family vlogs to assert this point that the people that were watching them were dangerous people. And I'm pretty sure he got in trouble for that, because I don't know that is necessarily something that you can do, but I know that he was really going out of his way to try to get this information. He's literally going out of his way just to harass and insult these women just for clout and clicks on the internet. I wanted to go back, revisit his content. He's posting this video about Bits of Brie. I started to sort of remember why I used to really engage with Josh's content, why it was really fun, why I really liked him as a person, and then I remembered that I used to feel the same way about my abusive ex-boyfriend. That every time I could see through his facade and see through his bullshit, there was always some way that he could turn his charm and make me forget about everything, and it's quite disarming. And I feel like Josh has a lot of that same presence, and I also think that, you know, this is anecdotal evidence, of course, but when you deal with someone who is truly narcissistic, you can find that. Like, you can find that personality in someone like that. I don't know, it's almost like the churchy pastor way of speaking. Like, he's got a lot of momentum behind the words that he says. In fact, I remember when I watched him, like, it reminded me of being in church, being in those super emotional sermons and listening to the pastor deliver with such, you know, feeling, such intensity. And it was really similar. It had a very similar air, and I used to really enjoy that, but now I feel like maybe that is kind of bad, kind of manipulative almost, just in an emotional way, obviously. What Josh even apologized to Brianna for was that he actually ended up showing a Google Maps image of her house, which is doxing, which is like the #1 rule on the internet that you just don't do. Super bad etiquette, super irresponsible, and again, I point out that he has 93,000 subscribers, because that's a lot of fucking people. Like, it's not 1 million, it's not 1 billion, but it's a lot of people. The fact that her whole, like, address, or the map to her house was on his channel on a video, even for the short amount of time that it was in, like, one person getting that information who shouldn't have it is too many. He says that when he apologizes for something, he doesn't do it again, but in fact, doxing is something that he has done before. He tries to go out of his way to find information where he really shouldn't be digging. I don't know if it's necessarily like as bad as it was with the without a crystal ball situation, but it's definitely feeling maybe more like it could go that way, possibly, because he tries to reach out to people who knew these family vloggers in high school. And I just feel like that's really strange. Everyone's internet presence is going to be curated in some way. Like, we're not all just raw and real on the internet 100% of the time. And so, I mean, I guess to get like a better, more well-rounded understanding of someone, you might look to alternative resources other than what they are choosing to put on the internet themselves. But it just seems like sort of a violation of someone's privacy for you to try to be in contact with people that were in their past, to try to dig up some sort of, you know, story or some sort of rumor or whatever you can conjure up to sort of fit the narrative that you're trying to paint of this person in real life, when a lot of these women do not deserve the level of harassment that he is giving to them. There are family vlogs out there that definitely exploit their children, definitely use their children for a paycheck, and they're mishandling that money. They're having these rich, lavish lifestyles all in the backs of their small children, and I don't think that that's right either. But what I don't necessarily get is how this man could finesse everyone so well, unless he truly was like a full-blown narcissist. Like, this is allegedly conspiratorially. Obviously, I'm not a licensed therapist. You do not want me to be your licensed therapist, and I can't diagnose Josh with anything. All I can do is draw from my personal experiences and note the similarities. Kombucha. I got this kombucha because it's pretty. I like the can. Oh, it tastes good. And it's only 35 calories. Oh my god. We love a lean queen. What else I think is super cringy, super gross of him is to be having these like arguments, or to be like insulting these smaller creators that have made content about him or that have given him any sort of criticism. He has proven himself to be absolutely incapable of handling any sort of criticism, especially when it is levied against him from someone that he deems to be lower than him, or someone who, I guess, women. I guess he just might have a problem with women. Into comment sections, going into DMs, and having arguments with Radiant Brit and Pixie Candidate. Completely showing his ass in these DMs with smaller creators. It's like getting to the point now where he's deleting people and deleting their comments from like his Facebook group or wherever for them simply calling attention to problems that they have with him. He built his platform on a cause, on advocacy work, reporting this horrible thing that was happening on the internet underneath our noses this whole time, and then he like realizes that He basically like squeezed all of the juice out of that orange that he possibly could, and now he's just going through content making fun of women, trying to be more and more outrageous as much as he possibly can to get a reaction, to get shock value, to keep getting views, to keep getting subscribers, to keep getting more money, and to keep getting more clout. He's purposely being audacious because I think that he just loves having so many people around him that agree with him and think that he is so smart and so charming and so funny. And oh my god, you're such a good guy, Josh, because you care about the children. You are the only one who's trying to save the children. Like, I can see how a lot of probably women who are unhappy with themselves, unhappy with their husbands, just unhappy with life itself would be really fascinated and really interested in somebody like Josh, who turns around and tells women that they are worthless, that they are ugly for getting implants, for getting surgery, that they're wrong for having children in their content, that they're exploiting the children that they had, that they provide for. And he is saying that these women are so much less, but the women who follow me and the women who agree with me are beautiful and worthy, and hey, you look gorgeous today. Like, what the hell is that? From a married ass man. Fucking miss me with that. I would love to meet his wife. First of all, I want to know what this woman looks like because I'm curious, because I think Josh has a type. I think we all know that. I'm curious what she thinks about his YouTube channel, if she watches his content and if she's like in agreement with it. Because if it were me, I would just have several questions, you know? Like, I would just be curious, like, what exactly is it that you're doing to rescue exploited children or to prevent further exploitation of children? I'm fascinated. Please tell me more. When you step away from it, like when you get some distance from the situation and just look at it for like what it really is, Josh is a 40-whatever-year-old married Christian man sitting in his basement watching videos of women vlogging their lives, vlogging them cleaning their houses, watching their Instagram stories, looking them up on Facebook, watching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of content of them and their children, of them giving birth. And like, what? Like, for what? When Josh, even in his Brianna K video, he admitted that the children that he mostly talks about don't even need to be saved. They're just being exploited by their parents. So we're trying to get them just to stop. I swear to God, it was either Bambi or Pixie. How cute. Oh my gosh, that's so magical. Okay, it was one of these two, and they were talking about like, well, what about these other people? What about these other, recently, people who have been called out for, who actually were abusing their children, who should have had their children taken away? Like Digital Princess and Shani for Christ. The Dad Challenge podcast really could have done something so big, made so many waves on this platform if he talked about Shani for Christ, because the people that were talking about Shani and have been talking about Shani and her husband are like small, like underground creators, but they've been documenting this story for so long. And the Dad Challenge podcast literally could have like reached out to them and talked to them about Shani and put that story up and got her name even more out there and literally been able to make a difference, because I'm pretty sure she still has her kids. When I started to think about that, it made me really upset. I mean, there's no way that Josh would have even done that story, because the people covering it aren't, you know, glamorous. They're just not part of Josh's brand. Like, I just don't think that Josh could see the entertainment value in that, so he might have like stayed away from it. I don't know if it was even something that even crossed his radar, but it just does not seem like the kind of story that Josh would do. And honestly, in my opinion, probably even could do, because it needed to be handled in a certain way, and I just don't know that Josh was like the person to do that. But at the same time, it's like, if this is your purpose, if this is your mission statement, then where's the actual crusade? Like, what are you actually doing? I think it's like obvious why Josh probably couldn't even talk about something like Shani for Christ or Digital Princess, because he's bad at what he does. He's totally passing up opportunities to actually do some kind of advocacy work and actually make some kind of changes. And that's really sad, that it would really be your platform growth, your status, your clout over the safety of children, the safety and well-being of children. Because I'll tell you, like, if you don't know anything about Standing for Christ, it is not for the faint of heart. I guarantee that if Josh had seen that video and he were half the man that he proclaims or that he wishes that he was, he would have gone on live stream and talked about it right then and there and tried to expose it, because that's what someone who is really caring about children, who's really actually on this platform for a reason, for a purpose, that's what they would have done. But he didn't, because he's not tuned into the right circles, or he's not paying attention, or maybe he just really doesn't give a fuck. And we'll never know. But that was just my thought, just my opinion, and just my video. So if you like this video, then you can leave it a like. And if you like me, then you can subscribe to this channel, where I will be posting more videos talking about whatever I want, whenever I want, because this is my channel. And that is what we do here, so subscribe. And as always, Chulas, I hope you are drinking your water and that you have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing rest of your day.